Here is the Tomy lay and egg game in action. The sound of the chicken clucking as it makes its rounds is enough to annoy parents and grandparents alike. The goal of this game is to collect more eggs than your opponent. In 1977, Tomy released the lay and egg motorized game. Tomy advertised this game as the all-family game that will give you lots of cackles. As the chicken goes around a circle, the player that makes her lay the most eggs wins. It's great double-A fun for everyone 5 and older. The Tomy lay and egg game is not in this video segment, as I already shipped it to my niece and nephews to play with and to annoy my sister and brother-in-law. I purchased my example of Tomy lay and egg motorized game for $17.99 from eBay. The seller sent it to me in a shoebox. My Tomy lay and egg motorized game was almost complete. Missing was the original box and instruction manual. Testing. I purchased this motorized game from eBay as is, so I didn't know if it worked or not. It requires a single C-cell battery for power. The battery tray is located in the base of the game. Once the battery tray cover is replaced, it should be ready to go. Tapping the buttons causes the nearby yellow catch to deploy. If lucky or skilled, it will snag the base of the chicken, delivering a spherical egg to your bowl. The chicken deploys white, brown, or gold spherical eggs, with the gold eggs worth the most points and the white ones the least. You must remove the chicken's head to fill it with eggs before playing this game. Sawtooth-like ridges around the hub causes the chicken to hop around the base. The power switch is located on the side of the base. When it was moved to the on position, nothing happened. Time to crack this motorized wonder apart to see what's wrong. Game disassembly. The first step in repair is to remove the chicken from the red arm by sliding it away from the center hub of the base. This allows you to easily lay the base of this game on its top. The battery cover needs to be removed, then the C-cell battery. 4 screws must be removed in order to separate the bottom from the base, exposing the electromechanical magic. The yellow catches must be removed from the base top. You must pierce the sticker in order to remove the screw that holds the hub in place. The red arm can now be removed. 3 screws hold the gearbox to the base top. It can now be physically removed for servicing. Gearbox service. The device circled in the picture is responsible for the chicken's clucking. The yellow lever provides the mechanical motion to power it. 3 screws must be removed in order to open up the gearbox. It is important to check all gears for cracks. Cracked gears should be replaced, or if an odd size, they should be superglued to the shaft. After checking all of the wiring, I had determined that there was an issue with the PM or permanent magnet motor. 2 wires must be desoldered before the motor can be removed from the gearbox for servicing. It is important to remember which solder lug the red and blue wires connect to, otherwise the chicken will go backwards. Motor service. The pinion gear must be removed so that the armature can be removed from the motor's case. 2 metal tabs must be bent back in order to access the motor's innards. The motor did not spin due to poor electrical conductivity caused by old grease and corrosion on the commutator and brushes. I used 800 grit sandpaper to clean up the commutator so that it was shiny copper again. A Q-tip dipped in denatured alcohol was used to clean the motor's brushes, until they were a shiny copper color as well. Time for motor reassembly. The stator must be attached to the back of the motor, taking care to make sure the brush is properly engaged with the commutator. I used wire cutters to hold the stator shaft in place, making sure that the permanent magnets didn't pull it out of the back of the motor during assembly. The 2 metal tabs must be bent down in order to secure the motor's parts back in place. A drop of Labelle 108 oil intended for model railroads is applied to the front motor bearing and the back bearing as well. The pinion gear is then reinstalled onto the motor shaft. I tested the motor prior to reinstalling it into the gearbox. The motor spun freely without assistance when power was applied. Gearbox reassembly. The motor was then reinstalled in the gearbox, and the wires were soldered to the proper solder lug. Labelle 106 PTFE grease was used to lubricate the gears here, 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 and here. Labelle 108 oil was used to lubricate the shaft here. Time to close up the gearbox by installing 3 screws. Labelle 108 oil was then applied to where the shafts extend through the gearbox, here, here, and here. The gearbox is ready to be reinstalled into the base top. Game reassembly. Before final assembly, I decided to give the plastic parts a nice shine using Armor All. I started with the base top, then I used Armor All to give the bottom and the battery cover a nice shine. Other parts of the Armor All included the small parts like buttons, hub, and yellow catches, red arm, orange bowls, and, of course, the chicken. Time for final reassembly. The gearbox is installed into the base top with 3 screws. Next, the yellow catches were installed. Then the bottom was installed to the base top. A C-cell battery was installed. Then the battery cover. Next, the red arm was installed, and the hub was screwed in place. The orange bowls were then installed. Then the chicken was slid onto the red arm toward the hub. I used denatured alcohol to clean up the spherical eggs. The chicken was then filled with eggs once the head was removed. This game was ready to go once the chicken's head was installed. Success! My Tomy Lay an Egg motorized game is now operational. Conclusion. Thank you for watching this how-to repair video on repairing the 1977 Tomy Lay an Egg motorized game. Fixing this game, then sending it to my niece and nephews to play with, and to annoy my sister and brother-in-law was well worth it. Please like this post and subscribe to Rust Belt Vintage Toy Repair so that you're alerted to my future posts.